All right, we're in section 7.5 where we are going to apply the tangent ratio. So this, both 7.5 and 7.6, we are going to introduce some trigonometry concepts. And the first trig concept that we are going to look at is using the tangent ratio. Okay, so anytime we're dealing with tangent, we need to know two things. One, we need to know one interior angle of a right triangle besides the 90 degree. And then the second thing is we need able to know at least one of the uh, side legs of the right triangle. So in this case, my two side legs are BC and AC. All right, AB is my hypotenuse in this case. So um, they told us here that my tangent ratio is opposite side. Now, when they talk about opposite side, that's the opposite side of the angle that you know over, which means divided by, the adjacent side. So this first trig ratio that we have here, it says the tangent of angle A, so like we'll just call this theta. That's what they represent angles by, is Greek names. So if I have theta here, part of angle A, it's going to equal the opposite. So the opposite side is BC divided by the adjacent side, which is AC. Okay, same idea, but now let's look at, let's say theta is now angle B. Now my opposite side here is AC, and it's going to be divided by my adjacent side, which is BC. All right, so in order to find some unknown uh, side measurements, we need to know the angle measure of one of the angles that besides the 90-degree angle. We at least need to know one of the side legs, whether it's the opposite or the adjacent side. Okay, so this first example here, it says find tangent S and tangent R, and it says write each answer as a fraction and as a decimal, rounding to 4 decimal places. So this is something that they're asking you in your homework assignment. So what you're going to do, so to find tangent S, so tangent S is right here. So in this case, this is going to equal the opposite, which is 80, divided by the adjacent, which is 18. And can I reduce this? I believe I can. 80 over 18, that can turn into 40 over 9, and 40 over 9 written as a decimal, rounding to 4 decimal places, will be 4.4444. Now looking at tangent R, which is right here, the opposite is now 18. The adjacent in this case is 80. So now my reduced fraction is going to be 9 over 40, and 9 over 40 is going to be equal to 0.2250. So since I was done writing it in decimal places, but they wanted 4, so I just attached zeros to it. Looking at this fraction, so first off, they wanted tangent S. So tangent S here, opposite is 32 over adjacent, which is 24. 32 divided by 24 is going to give me a reduced fraction of 4/3, which then gives me a decimal of 1.3333 with 4 decimal places. Tangent of r in this case. Opposite is 24. Adjacent is 32. 24 divided by 32 is 3/4. You notice that they're flipped. And then decimal is going to be 0.7500. All right, so that's how we have uh, those set up. All right, so now in this particular instance, they want us to find the value of x. They want us to round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so we have an angle other than 90 degrees, and we have one measurement of a side leg. All right, so in this case here, we're going to have the tangent of 32 degrees is going to be equal to the opposite, which is 11, and then the adjacent, which is x. Now, what you have to keep in mind when you're going to use the tangent symbol in your calculator, make sure you go to mode and check to see if your calculator is using degrees. All right, you'll see something that says radians and degrees. Make sure it's in degrees, all right, not radians, okay, because we're dealing with degrees when it comes to these trig functions. So make sure that that is done. All right, I'm checking mine. Mine's in degrees. So now I can take the tangent of 32. All right, so you're going to get approximations in this, but I'm going to write it as 0.6249. There's a bunch of numbers, but we're rounding it anyway, so I'm just going to round to 4 decimal places for this particular instance, and then work it out accordingly. So now I got 11 over x. In order for me to solve for x, I got to multiply both sides by x. So now I got 0.6249x is equal to 11. I got to divide everything by 0.6249 divided by 6249. 11 divided by 0.6249 is going to equal, x is going to be 17.6. Okay, moving on down. If I look here, I have my degree that's not 90. I have one of my side legs, which in this case is the adjacent. So now I can say that the tangent of 65 degrees is going to equal the opposite, which is x divided by the adjacent, which is 24. If I look here, tangent of 65 is going to be 2.144, and that's going to be equal to x over 24. For me to solve for x, I multiply 24 to both sides. 24 times it by 2.144 gives me a value of about 51.5 feet. In this case, they had it labeled as feet. The last thing that they want us to do here is they want us to find the area and perimeter of the triangle. Okay, so finding the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times the height. Finding the perimeter is the sum of all three of the sides, A plus B plus C. So what we need to do first is we need to find what the value of x is. All right, one of the side lengths. So in order for us to find that side length, we've got to use one of the trig ratios. So we get to find the tangent of 61 degrees is going to equal the opposite, which is 22 over x. All right, so multiply x to both sides. X times by the tangent of 61 is going to equal 22. X in this case is going to equal 22 divided by the tangent of 61 degrees. So 22 divided by the tangent of 61 is going to equal something like 12.19. I just did my own approximation. So now we need to do is to figure out the perimeter. I also need to figure out what this value is. And since it's the hypotenuse, it's our value C. So now I'm going to go over here and say, all right, 12.19 squared plus 22 squared will equal C squared. Well, 12.19 squared equals 148.5961 plus 22 squared is 484. Add that to the 148.5961. That equals 632.5961. That equals C squared. To find what my value of C is, take the square root of 632.5961. So C in this case is going to equal 25.15 approximately. So now we have all the information we need to find the area and perimeter of this triangle. The area is 1/2 times it by the base, which is 22, times it by the height, which is 12.19. So I multiply all those together. So 1/2, which is 0.5, times by 22, times it by 12.19. That is going to equal 134.09 square units. To find the perimeter, we add up all three of the values. So I got 12.19 plus 22 plus 25.15. Yep, that's what it was. 12.19 plus 22 plus 25.15. And that gives me a perimeter of 59.34 units. Okay. Same idea that we got to do over in this triangle. We got 56 degrees as our degree measurement. We have one leg, which is 13. So to find that out, we got tangent of 56 is going to equal the opposite, which is x over 13. So multiply 13 to both sides. X is going to equal whatever 13 times by the tangent of 56 degrees, which is 19.27. So 19.27. All right, so now we got to find the hypotenuse. We can find the hypotenuse by taking 19.27 squared plus 13 squared equaling C squared. 19.27 squared is going to be 371.3329 plus 13 squared is 169. Add that to 371.3329. Now I got 540.3329, which equals C squared. Take the square root of both sides. So the square root of 540.3329 is about 23.25. So 23.25. So now I have all the information we need to write perimeter and area. So I go over here. Area equals 1/2. I'm going to say the base is 19.27 times that by the height, which is 13. So again, 1/2 is 0.5. 19.27 times it by 13. I get 125.26, and that's square units because it's area. And then to find the perimeter, we just add the three together. So I got 19.27 plus 13 plus, and I believe the last one was 23.25. So 19.27 plus 13 plus 23.25, and that gives us a total of 55.25 units. All right, and that is being able to apply the tangent ratio. Hope this helps. Till next time.